I have no idea what the hell I just watched. The Cobbler is an Adam Sandler movie, but no, it's not a Happy Madison production, so you don't have to worry about it being like Grown Ups or Jack and Jill or any of the other string of bad movies he's been producing and starring in lately. No, it's not as bad as that, trust me. No, instead the Cobbler is well, it's sort of a, I'm stumped. I don't even know what genre I can consider this movie. No, I'm serious, and the biggest flaw with this movie, and the reason why you might absolutely hate this film, is because it's a mixed match of genres that don't quite fit in well, or at least don't fit in this movie, and it feels like the movie doesn't know what it's trying to be. That's the biggest problem with this movie, and yes, those are signs of really bad movies, but for me, oddly enough, I was still entertained throughout the movie. Yeah, I kind of liked it in a weird way. Ultimately, here's what The Cobbler is about. Adam Sandler is this normal guy. Yes, he's very subtle acting in this film, and he plays a normal guy very well. So he's not over the top and crazy in this movie. Definitely not. But he's a cobbler, and basically he repairs shoes, if you don't know what a cobbler is. And one day his machine breaks, but he has an old one in the basement, so he fixes this guy's shoes, which the guy's supposed to come and pick up those shoes that same day. But it's after closing, he's still waiting for the guy to show, and very bored, he decides to try on the guy's shoes because they were 10.5, and like I said, he's bored. Sure enough, he puts on the guy's shoes and suddenly shapeshifts into that person. Yeah, the machine that he used, the old one, is magical, and so if he repairs a shoe with that machine, he can put on those shoes and imitate and become the person who wears the shoes. So basically he can walk in someone's shoes. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not a pun. That's literally what it is in the movie. And of course, being an Adam Sandler movie, it still has to have some childish humor, and so he goes around wearing other people's shoes and imitating their lives and basically having fun. But to make a long story short, he starts using his powers to help the neighborhood because it's, there's a situation in it kind of like a movie called Be Kind, Rewind. If any of you remember that Jack Black movie, and it's pretty old now. I can't remember when it came out. I know I think it was early 2000s. But yeah, it has a little bit of similarity in the fact that there's these people that are getting moved out of their homes and kicked out, and some big company or something is buying out the houses. So he uses his powers to help out, or at least that's definitely what the trailer says, and that's what you believe when you watch the trailer. But he just sort of stumbles onto that whole thing coincidentally. So the really good things about The Cobbler is Adam Sandler is really good in it, and Steve Buscemi's in it as well, and he's good in it. Most of the people are pretty much good in the movie. Some of the characters and some of the acting might be forgettable with some of the characters, but ultimately most of them are all good. The best, honestly, being Adam Sandler. It almost reminds me of his older dramatic roles, well, not older, but a couple years back when he was doing a lot more dramatic roles like Reign Over Me and Punch Drunk Love and even Spanglish. and his acting reminds me of that, and it proves again, yes, he can be a good actor. He doesn't have to be stupid and crazy all the time. Now, granted, The Cobbler is nowhere near any of the standards of those 3 previous movies I've seen, but it's still really good and proves that he could still be a dramatic actor. And despite the whole mismatch of different genres that make it a bad movie, I still was entertained throughout the film and interested. I still liked the character. There was some promise in the movie, and ultimately I didn't have a bad time with it. But then again, I had watched this after Hot Tub Time Machine 2, and I hated Hot Tub Time Machine 2. So maybe I just liked The Cobbler more than I should have, because I was kind of comparing it to Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Yeah, like I said, the major flaw of this film, the major thing that will probably make you hate the film, is it is a mishmash of all kinds of genres. It's like the jack of all trades. Basically, it has all these different genres mixed up into it, but none of them are as compelling if it was just that. It just doesn't master everything. It tries to be a comedy and a drama, but there's not enough drama to be considered a drama, and there's not enough comedy. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's also a fantasy, but if I told you it was a fantasy, and you go expecting a fantasy, you're going to be disappointed. So there's a fantastical element in it, but that's about it. Also, sometimes it tries to be a dark comedy, because there is some sort of gangster style stuff in this movie, and like modern gangster, and I don't know, it does not succeed. It's not dark enough to be a dark comedy, even though there's some really strange and graphic stuff in the film. Like, literally, out of nowhere, there's a point where he steps into this area where this guy had been brutally beaten up, and his blood just covers the guy's face, but it sort of makes it look like it's a comedic moment. It's very weird. But the strangest scene of them all is there's literally, and I'm not making this up. You go watch the trailer, and you will not expect this. You'll feel like I'm completely lying to you. But in the film, there is this graphic moment where a guy dies. Not only does he die, he gets stabbed in the neck by the heel of a high heel shoe. There's no blood in the scene, but literally you see the whole thing. You see the shoe sticking out of his neck, and he's and dying. And the score in the film makes it sound like you're supposed to laugh. I mean, it's very light and comedic, and it just left me confused and baffled. Should I be horrified? Should I be in shock like the Adam Sandler character is? Should I be laughing? What should I be doing? I have no idea. But I think the main thing it is, which, like I said, if you go into this film expecting this particular genre, you're going to be completely disappointed, because it's not like that. But the major plot points in this film resemble a Rise of the Hero formula. But if you go expecting a Rise of the Hero movie, or a superhero movie in most cases, which it kind of is, especially by the end of it, it's not really a superhero movie at the same time. It's very confusing to try to put this in a genre, because it's a mishmash of all these crazy things that don't really work on their own and don't really work to make the movie compelling. Yet despite all of these flaws, I still found I had a good time watching the film. It's not a movie I'm ever going to buy. It's not a movie I'm ever going to watch again. But I can't deny there's something about it that I liked and enjoyed throughout the film. And not in the so bad it's good sort of thing, but I don't know. There was something genuine about it that I liked. And I can't quite place it. So in the end, I'm giving The Cobbler 2.5 stars. This still might not be for you. You're probably going to hate this film if you go see it, but I don't know, there's something about it that I can't deny that I liked. And it just could be just because I saw Hot Tub Time Machine 2 before that, and that made The Cobbler look way better than it probably is. But have you seen The Cobbler? What did you think about it? Go ahead and comment. If you haven't, what is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? I don't know. Mine probably would be Big Daddy, or one of the older things, or one of the older ones like Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison. But I don't know. Big Daddy, probably. I'm a '90s guy, so. So, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.